Welcome to 1000 Why Questions. Here we dig into everyday mysteries you've always wondered about. You're sitting in a quiet meeting, trying to stay awake. Someone across the table lets out a long, slow yawn. You glance at them for half a second, and suddenly your own jaw stretches open. You couldn't stop it if you tried. A moment later, someone else follows. And now the whole room is yawning in a wave. It's funny, because no one's even that tired. So why do we yawn when others yawn? And what does it say about how our brains connect? We usually think yawning means we're sleepy or bored, but that's only part of the story. People also yawn when they wake up before a workout, even before a stressful moment, like giving a speech. So yawning isn't just a tired signal. It's more like your body hitting the reset button. It helps you refocus and regulate your alertness. That's the personal physical side of yawning. But the contagious kind works on a whole different level. One big theory says yawning helps cool down your brain. When you yawn, you take in a deep breath of cooler air, stretch your face muscles, and increase blood flow to your head. It's like opening a window for your mind when it's been running hot. Think of it like rebooting your brain's fan system. But contagious yawning isn't about cooling at all. It's more about emotional temperature. See, humans are natural mimics. We copy facial expressions, body language, even tone of voice. It's part of how we bond and understand each other, a kind of social glue built into our brains. Yawning happens to be one of those contagious signals. When someone yawns and you follow, your brain's not just copying, it's connecting. Think about laughter for a second. When your friend laughs hard, you can't help but laugh too, even if you missed the joke. That same mirroring happens with yawns, smiles, even tears during a sad movie. Your brain mirrors others to create empathy and connection. It syncs up emotions like Wi-Fi, and that quiet link between our brains is where the science gets fascinating. Researchers have been chasing the mystery of contagious yawning for decades. At the University of Pisa in Italy, scientists found you're more likely to catch a yawn from friends and family than from strangers. That's a huge clue. It means yawning might track emotional closeness. The stronger your bond, the stronger the reflex. It's like your brain saves its yawns for the people it trusts most. Behind that connection are special brain cells called mirror neurons. They fire when you do something, and when you watch someone else do it. So when you see a yawn, your mirror neurons light up, as if you're the one yawning. It's your brain's way of saying, I get what you're feeling. And that little spark of empathy turns into an actual yawn. Scientists at the University of Nottingham tested how hard it is to resist. They showed people videos of others yawning and said, don't yawn. The result? The more they tried not to, the more they wanted to. Brain scans showed extra activity in the motor cortex, the part that controls movement, proving just how automatic the reflex really is. Here's the twist, and not everyone catches yawns equally. Kids don't usually start contagious yawning until they're 4 or 5 years old. That's about when they begin to develop empathy. Before that, babies yawn on their own, but not in response to others. So contagious yawning might show when empathy first switches on. In adults, the pattern continues. People who score higher on empathy tests yawn more when others do. But people on the autism spectrum, or with certain brain injuries, might not catch yawns at all. It's not because they don't notice them, it's because the empathy circuit doesn't fire the same way. A simple yawn becomes a quiet little test of how connected we are to the world around us. Even your emotional state affects it. When you're anxious or emotionally drained, you're less likely to yawn with others. It's like your empathy has a dimmer switch. When your mind's overloaded, it turns down. So contagious yawning isn't random. It's a snapshot of your social and emotional bandwidth, one of the smallest, purest ways our bodies measure connection. Next time someone nearby starts that slow, stretching yawn, pay attention. Half the room might join in, not because they're sleepy, but because our brains love to sync up. A yawn ripples through people like a shared heartbeat, quiet, invisible. A reminder that even in silence, we're wired to connect. And if you enjoy small, everyday science like this, subscribe and stay curious. We hope you enjoyed this episode of 1000 Why Questions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to support the channel. Got a thought or your own why question? Comment below. And if you want more,